Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back On Time Sports Talk. And holy crap, look who's back this week. The bald, the beautiful Eddie, the original schedule. Welcome back, Pops. How was your Christmas?
It was the typical grandpa dad Christmas. You don't get much, give. And, quite frankly, the wife does most of the shopping. So I'm kind of surprised when people open their presents myself to see what we got 'em. So,
Classic. Well, folks, I am Casey, the remix schedule. Thank you for tuning in On Time Sports Talk. Yeah, we got a jam-packed week this week. NFL Week 16, NFL on Christmas Day, NBA yesterday as well, college football playoff brackets. We got our picks with Pops. We got the Cowboys winning again. We got what the F is Ryan Clark talking about. But before we get to any of it, joke of the day, hit us with it.
let's go with what is color red? Or what is red and bad for your teeth?
What is red and bad for your teeth? I don't know.
That would be a brick.
No, accurate.
Yes. You don't want to chew on those. So,
All right. Well, all right. Let's get Ryan Clark. All right. Let me preface this. Most people already heard this story. Ryan Clark, the safety for the Steelers, works for ESPN, supposed to be knowing what he's talking about and all that garbage. Ryan Clark sat there and really had the audacity to say that Lamar Jackson is the first authentic black quarterback in the NFL. What the hell are you talking about, dude? What?
all the rest just step aside because they're not authentic. They must be fake. Is that what he's saying? They're fake.
Yeah, I guess
No.
they're like Dak Prescott, not black enough. Doug Williams, not black enough. Russell Wilson, not black enough. RG3, Cordell Stewart, Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, Steve McNair, Michael Vick rocking the cornrows wasn't black enough for Ryan Clark. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Geno Smith, Cam Newton, Dante Culpepper, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, and Donovan McNabb all weren't black enough for Ryan Clark.
Yeah, I don't understand what he means by authentic. It's, I do believe one or two of those people you mentioned have won Super Bowls.
Yes.
And,
Doug Williams, was the
Doug
first black
Williams,
quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Russell Wilson's won one.
Russell Wilson has won one. McNair's been there. Mahomes has won a few, right? So I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah,
what
I wonder what Mahomes feels about that, and, and one of the, I want to say he never won a Super Bowl, but one of the funnest quarterbacks ever to watch was Randall Cunningham. I hated him because he was a Philadelphia Eagle, but that dude could make some plays. And Lamar Jackson is comparatively and probably better in this age of hand-hit quarterback and crap. But Randall Cunningham, when he played, you could hit the quarterback. Wasn't no concussion rule, none of that stuff. And that dude just made it happen. So I don't, sometimes people just say stuff and it just makes no damn sense. And that just doesn't, it doesn't in any way.
No, it doesn't make it.
Whether
you're saying they're not black enough or they're not authentic enough, like what does that mean? Like, RC, what are you doing out there? Like, you're not propping up the community in that realm. Like, to me, it was just at a moment where I could not believe what Ryan Clark was saying. And I haven't seen much follow up on him and his comments, but I could not believe it when he said that.
And I usually respect what Ryan Clark says, but he has, sometimes these guys say he's not as bad as Shady, and when he talks, but because Shady just talks crazy. But yeah, that's just really damn ridiculous.
Really damn ridiculous, as you just put it. 100%. Like I just, if I was one of those quarterbacks that came before, just man, I would be like, bro, you owe me an apology. Like, I understand it, but all right. NFL Week 16 reactions.
We left out a name. I didn't hear you say Warren Moon. Warren Moon.
I did say Warren Moon. Thank you very much.
Okay. I didn't know whether you said it. I must have missed the moon. I missed the moon.
Right there.
Goodness gracious, you're right, like a 3-year-old. Okay.
Well,
let's go.
You got a lot to go over. Sorry. I'm scribbling.
You need to get technology. My notes are on an iPad. See, they even change around, and you need to get some technology going.
Oh, taking your notes on an iPad. All right. Aren't you special?
That's why your Eagles wear glasses on your hat there.
Damn, how many times I got this is America's Eagle. By the way, I can actually say old Crazy Joe did one positive recently. Did you know the eagle was not the official animal of the United States? Officially, like by law. Crazy Joe signed that into law, not like this week or last week, maybe. So the bald eagle is the official animal representing the United States, even though it's been on our currency and all this other stuff this whole time. We did not have an official animal. Matter of fact, trivia time. We've never done trivia time. What is the official animal of the state of Texas?
Armadillo.
It is armadillo. Very good. Very good. All right. If you're there on the TikTok live, I got TikTok live going down here too, like multitasking. You just learned a fun fact. Armadillo. All right. NFL Week 16. Packers. They're starting to look really good. They're starting to look They're starting to look like they did going into the playoffs last year, which is a dark horse, scary thought for all the rest of the teams in the NFC. I don't know if you got to see any of the Packers. They're looking.
Well, yeah. When you play, what was the temperature there? It's pretty damn cold, wasn't it?
100.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they're not. Where are they at in the standings? They're not going to be hosting a playoff game, are they? I don't think so. No, because they're
be a wild card.
They're still third in their division right now, behind the Vikings and the Lions.
It's probably the best division in football.
Well, yeah, the NFC North is definitely the one to beat. Of course, the Bears aside from that, but yeah, but I still think my pick for the Super Bowl, as much as I'm riding with the Vikings, is the Lions, and it has been since the beginning of the season. So,
what
did
you pick that?
I said the Lions were going to win the Super Bowl.
And you just said it now. You didn't pick that at the beginning of the year. We're checking tape because I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, you can go back and check, but I said the Lions will be the ones who finally get it done.
All right,
they're going to have to take on the Vikings, but they're the ones going to get it done.
Speaking of the Vikings, win again. They did it again.
I know, right?
About the hat. Sorry, folks.
And I don't have headphones on this time, so I can wear my hat. So
yeah, and it'll stay on.
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm all about the Vikings.
Yeah, they did it again, man. They're looking pretty solid too. Second best team up there in the NFC North. Sam Darnold, I still think he's fourth in the MVP voting in my realm.
Well, he better be the comeback player of the year. Is what he better.
Comeback player of the year is in play. I'll give you that.
I mean, everybody, no one expected that. No one.
Everyone was expecting J.J. McCarthy to take over by week 5. The quarterback from Michigan, he ended up getting hurt in camp. So they got a dilemma on their hands. You got to love the quarterback controversy going into next year. You just first round pick on J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold's looking like an MVP. You got problems. Good problems.
Do you realize the Vikings have won 8 games in a row?
That's cool.
The only one close to that is the Chiefs. They won 6 in a row. With Mahomes, who's going to be the Josh Allen killer and the MVP.
Yeah, the next one from last week, man, and I know we've already had a couple games this week, and that's kind of the curse of doing a Thursday night show. But because NFL on Christmas, which is stupid, we'll get into that. But the Commanders beating the Eagles now, it hurt. Getting hurt, it hurt when hurt got hurt, So, the alliteration, that was terrible. I was trying to do something funky right there. It didn't work. Jalen Hurts getting knocked out of the game with a concussion. That changed the dynamic. I think they were up 21-0 when he got hurt. And, the Commanders took advantage. Jaden Daniels, who I think is probably the rookie of the year right now, ahead of Bo Nix. I think he kind of overtook Bo Nix's performance. Yeah, your favorite named team in the NFL took down the Philadelphia Eagles with old Pickett.
I've shortened their name. It's the Washington Commies.
Washington
Commies.
Are they meanest?
I have a feeling they're going to be the Redskins again. Tom?
We all know the Redskin name is going to come back. Like, it's going to happen eventually. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Right now, they're the Washington Commies.
Like, the sensitive era in society is over. Like, it's going to. I think that Cleveland should go back to being the Indians. Who else changed their name? Was there anyone else that we talked about?
Cleveland, Guardian, the Washington Commies.
That's not our segment. I think it's going to be a big game this week for the Commanders. They got the Falcons coming in. I think they're going to win that game against the Falcons. So I just gave one of my picks there away. But, Jalen Hurts needs to get back, and hopefully he's get right and he's healthy. You never like to see a guy or any player go out with an injury. And you like seeing teams at their best, winning or losing. So, hey, did you see my guy? You see my guy? You know who I'm talking about. You know my guy.
You're talking about Josh.
I'm talking about Josh Allen.
He's just barely beating the Patriots.
They won. Like, you can't say barely beat when you score 30. Like, the defense is not good.
They didn't score 30. They scored 24. It's 24-21.
Nah, you're looking at the third quarter score or something.
No, it was 24-21 final. December 22nd.
Yeah, it was cold outside. That's like 40-41 or something like that. Come on. It's the Patriots. I get it. Drake May played really well or semi-well, but Josh Allen's still the MVP. I don't care what you say.
He's not.
Well, it's not.
And I tell you when it's going to end. I tell you when that whole debate will end is after the first playoff game. When they lose.
It's a regular season award. The votes are already in by that time. Saquon's out of the conversation now. Mahomes is out of the conversation now. It's a 2-horse race. It's Allen or Lamar.
Why is Mahomes out of the conversation now?
Go check his stats. They're not great.
Did he just play another game on a bum ankle?
Yeah, that's why his stuff ain't great.
And won?
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a 2-horse race between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And if you take Lamar Jackson off the Ravens, they would fare better if you took Josh Allen off of the Bills. He is more valuable. He is more of their offense. You're probably about to look up stats right now. Lamar Jackson has better stats, but he also has Derrick Henry in the background. Can you even name the Buffalo Bills running back? No, you can't. Can you name one of their wide receivers that isn't hurt? No, you can't. The fact that they're still where they're
at. You can't name James Cook. James Cook is a running back for the Bills.
You just looked at their roster.
I can't name a receiver outside of Cook, but Cook is the running back.
I know Cook's the running back, but he wasn't their starter. He's like their second running back.
Whatever,
First
man.
one got hurt.
He's not.
He's the MVP.
Josh Allen is not going to win MVP.
He is going to win MVP.
Nope.
And if he doesn't, it's Lamar Jackson, not Patrick.
Yeah, I would go with Lamar Jackson because he is an MVP.
He'll be the first authentic MVP ever. All right. We had to get our weekly Bills battle in. Speaking of that, the Ravens, they're playing really well. I love Derrick Henry. Should have been a Cowboy. # Jerry Jones fail. Derrick Henry is incredible for that team. Just the defense.
That's a man right there. That's a man right there.
Derrick Henry is a very smart man. If he hit on, I know I'd protect my fiance's honor, but I know I'm not winning that fight. He says something slick to Linda, I'd be like, yo, man, we got to throw down, but let me throw one first because I'm not going to get another one because his quads are bigger than my whole body.
He's got 1,700 yards.
Yeah, he's beasting.
And I mean, a lot of people said when he left the Titans he's not going to be able to do that anymore. Well, those people can shut the hell up because obviously he can't.
The fact that they doubted Derrick Henry tells you how ignorant some football people are a lot of times. But what did you think about NFL on Christmas?
Football on Christmas?
They had 2 games.
I can take it or leave it because, it's this year, Christmas is in the middle of the week. So it kind of messes things up. But any other day, if it was a Thursday or Friday or whatever, it wouldn't bother me, or Monday even. But middle of the week's kind of goofy. To me, it's not fair to the players.
Well, I think all those teams played on Saturday, right? So it'd be the equivalent of a Thursday night game. Memory serves you right. I thought it was terrible. Number one, the games were terrible. And 2, unless it's a Sunday or a Saturday, because technically the NFL will go the weekend, but now with the college football playoff, you don't really have Saturday free either. I didn't like it. Like, it's a basketball day. Christmas Day is basketball. It's the NBA. Now, I know the product sucks, but it doesn't feel like you don't wake up on Christmas, let's watch presents or let's open presents and let's watch football. No, you already got Thanksgiving. Be happy with Thanksgiving. Be thankful that you have Thanksgiving. See what I did there? But don't let NBA have Christmas. Like, you're a rating grabbing Bush League move there. And the games were terrible. So I was watching.
That's because it throws off the practice schedules, all that stuff. But speaking of the NBA, unless there's something you want to finish out with the NFL.
No, it was transition to NBA. You're good to go. What were you going to say? Go ahead. Hit me with it.
Well, a lot of people are making the comment, including LeBron, about how bad the product is and they have to do something different. Well, there's a lot of factors in that. And you can throw out, okay, well, they went seriously woke on a lot of different things. You can throw out the fact that the product is it's not, all it is jacking up threes or big dunks. And just, I'm going to tell you, this is my one that probably, I guess, could put this in sports pet peeves. It's the whining bullshit. When you get a call, they just lose their damn mind. What's his name? I can't remember, from the Sixers, got thrown out of the game because he's pushing over on the little female referee who's calling him. Yeah. And it's like, dude, just let it go. But they can't. The whining and just being a brat. I mean, it's not even in the old days, yeah, you had, if you went inside, you're going to get the crap knocked out of you. Now everybody's like, what foul? And so it's just
Yeah,
the
I mean,
referees are too much into the game and there's too much whining going on. Just play the damn game. I don't remember the old Lakers and Bird or Jordan or any of them when they got a bad call, just whining and crying and running over to the ref. What the hell is wrong with you?
well, a lot of their games were taped before Bird and Magic. Actually, all of them were. Jordan definitely did say something to the rest, but it wasn't at this level. It's not. It was more of a. I don't want to say whining by any means, but the whining really started in the 2000s. You're not gonna like this, but Tim Duncan was the biggest whiner. Luka now is the biggest whiner in the league. LeBron's always been a big whiner on the court. You and it translates, and I think it goes something systemically deeper in the kind of feeling as entitled as they do in today's world. But yeah, the product is that. It really is. I just posted a video on Twitter from the last week's show when I was talking about this by myself. You're right. It's threes, layups / dunks, or free throws. There's no mid-range game. And I love what Kobe Bryant talked about it before he passed. The kids nowadays, or not kids, but players these days, they play accidental basketball. Like there's no system to it. There's no rhyme or reason to a lot of it. You'll see some set plays that want a certain outcome, but yeah, ultimately it's just a bad product. And Magic Johnson kind of hinted at this. He talked about there's no rivalries in today's game. So when he said that, I started thinking about, can you think of a rivalry in today's NBA that is legit? Celtics, Lakers back in the 80s, Bulls, Knicks, Pacers, Knicks, Mavericks, Spurs, New York, Miami, Detroit, Chicago. You don't have any of this anymore because all the players
No,
are
you
cool
don't,
with each other.
because
They have it up.
because first off, I don't know if it's changed a whole lot, but it seems like players have moved around a lot more than they used to. Another thing, and it's not that a conversation I want to get into, but you also have the biggest coaches who like to come out in their press conferences and spew their political views. Nobody cares, man. What you vote or how you believe, just talk to us about basketball. Stop with that crap. That's not what the press conference should be about the game that you just played.
Well,
And unfortunately, when you do that, you alienate a big set of your audience. And it just,
yeah, I mean
I
that I think is part of the overarching of with that at the beginning of the NBA product part of this discussion. You mentioned that they got overly political or quote unquote super woke in their in their backing. Um, and yes, there is that element of it. But like just on the, really when I was talking about the rivalries, like you can't think of anything. And then you think about this year's storylines. Jason Whitlock hit this on the nail. Like when I saw this clip on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, the biggest storyline of the NBA season is about a G League. He's in the G
Mhm.
League. It's about Bronny James has been the biggest storyline of the year. Oh, Bronny had 30 in his first road game for the South Bay Lakers. Oh, he had his manufacturer moment with dad, hashtag nepotism. Ultimately, oh, he's shot this or, you know, Bronny's been a
See, it goes to a little bit of what I'm talking about, but it's being forced on you. No one gives a crap right now because he's not. First off, he's LeBron kid, so he's playing where LeBron wanted him. Second off, he's not that good. If he was a superstar or something like that, that would be a different story. But he's being forced down our throats of everything about Bronny James. Bronny James made 4 points in the game. Bronny James made 5 points in the game. He kind of sucks.
He ain't that good.
And that's the problem is that, and I don't know, maybe it's weird because the NBA just seems
we got
to get
someone
it.
who knows something a little bit about who sucks and who doesn't.
All right. Well, and this is one of the things to me is that it's not about their play moving them to the top. It's about what the NBA and really their public relations or their marketing people feel like are the best stories, but I did not know Kidd was coming on. Well, welcome, Coach. You just must have showed up.
Yes,
welcome. This is Jason Kidd, the coach of the Mavericks. Yes, Coach Jason Kidd of the Mavericks. So what I was just talking about, Coach, is do you feel there are any rivalries right now in basketball as far as, you've been in the league a long time, coached for a while, you played for a long time, won a championship. So do you feel there's any rivalries? Because you used to have some pretty good games against some of these folks like the Spurs and things like that.
Yes, spoke of my championship ring with the Dallas Mavericks, and I have been around the league a long time. And we did have a lot of rivalries. The Nets, when I was with the Nets, it was against the Lakers, and it was me and Keith Van Horn trying to guard Shaquille O'Neal. That did not work out well. And ultimately, in today's NBA, Dallas, we have a pretty good rivalry with the Minnesota Timberwolves, which we ultimately came up short last night because Luka got hurt and we had to get unbalanced, and we were no longer a perfectly balanced peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and we just couldn't gel right. And ultimately, a great rivalry is also, ironically and fortuitously, like a well-balanced peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's more like jam, really, instead of jelly. But you could pick your flavor,
Well, Coach, before we get jammed into, see what I did there, jammed into the peanut butter jelly sandwich conversation again. Do you feel back during those rivalries, who was your jelly to your peanut butter back in the day?
For me, on the Nets, we had Kenyon Martin was probably my jelly to my peanut butter, as well as Vince Carter, because, as we know, my nickname used to be Asen because I didn't have a J. Now I fixed that once I got to the Dallas Mavericks for the second time. But with Kenyon and VC, I call him Kenyon and VC, or just Kmart for short, even though Kmart went out of business, and that's unfortunate because I really like Kmart. But anyways, I could just throw the ball up to him, and it was like a perfectly well-balanced, uncrusted peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
So when you coach, do you refer everything to a peanut butter jelly sandwich?
No, not particularly. I feel like, in this iconic moment that we're having together, that just is relevant. But when I'm coaching the team, I got to break it down all the way to the nuts of the peanut butter and keep it simple.
The nuts of the peanut butter. Do you like crunchy peanut butter or smoked peanut butter?
Well, I tell my basketball players, you don't want nutty peanut butter because it could chip your tooth, right? You don't want to chip tooth. But ultimately, if you want to be like smooth peanut butter because your game just is smooth and you just go with the flow. It's kind of like one of those rivals that you talked about or you wanted to talk about originally, and you got me off on talking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, was the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan was just smooth. He was smooth peanut butter. He didn't he did complain a lot, but ultimately you don't want to be a nutty.
I would refer to Tim Duncan as more like ketchup, and Tony Parker was the French fry. and he would go out there and get the ketchup to put it through the hoop. What do you think about that?
That's a great point by you on the ketchup and the French fry. I would say that Manu Ginobili would be like the Frosty that dipped their fries in at Wendy's.
Frosting that you dip your fries in.
The Frosty from Wendy's.
And you dip your fry in.
No, I don't. I'm just saying some people do, okay? It's a little weird to me. I don't think French fries
their fry in Frosty.
A lot of people dip their fries on Frosty. Matter of fact, if you're on the TikTok live right now, please comment if you dip fries in your Frosty. But it happens. As Coach J.Kidd, I don't do it because I don't eat unhealthy like that at Wendy's.
You've never had a Frosty?
Well, like when I was 7.5 years old, Wendy's wasn't big in Oakland.
That was like 60 years ago, Coach. I don't think they have Frosties.
I'm not even 60 years old, and I think if
the actual Wendy was still alive back then.
I don't know. Wendy, I don't know if she was alive, but I do like redheads though.
Where's the beef? That was the commercial back then. Where's the beef?
Well,
so if I had to say, where's the beef in the Western Conference right now, who would you say has the beef?
Well, I would look at you and say the motherfucking beef is right here with the Dallas Mavericks. Pardon my language.
But you just said your team is more like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm looking for the hamburger of the league.
Well, if you want a hamburger of the league, then you might want to go look at LeBron James's hairline, because it keeps receding back like 80-20 hamburger every time it gets grilled.
So what's going on? The Thunder have kind of cruised to the top, and they've won 8 games in a row now. You guys have lost one. So
yeah, we did lose last night. Luka got hurt in the second quarter, and I don't know how the Thunder are relevant because we lost to the Timberwolves. The Thunder are a good team, but they do something that no one else in the league does. They pray to a mythical god named Thor, who is the Thunder god, and it seems to give them an edge during the game, especially in Oklahoma City.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I see where you went with that. You lost me there for a minute when you went with the Marvels, but okay. Well, that's
I'm sorry. The agent says I got to go.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, good luck, Coach, on your next game with whoever that's against. And I hope you catch the Thunder, and the Rockets and Houston are kind of kicking y'all's butt too. So,
well, we did have a slow start. Oh, I got to go. All right. Eat healthy, stay out of trouble, and I love y'all. Peace.
All right. Thanks. That was Coach Kidd. I forgot he was going to be joining us tonight. Yeah. Right now, the creme de la creme of the league is the Cavaliers and the Thunder. Almost identical records. Well, I guess the Cavaliers have won 3 more games.
You just ever have people like Coach Kidd just drop in at your house unexpectedly while you're recording a podcast? I mean,
I've had cousin George drop in, which is really weird because he comes all the way from England.
George he's an odd one, but all right. Speaking of normal Sir George territory, Dallas Cowboys, they win again.
They just keep getting further and further away from that good draft pick, don't they?
Yep.
So
what you said is McCarthy. I think he's going to be back. I didn't think there was any way he's going to be back. I think he might be back now.
You never know with JJ. He might be all in, and with McCarthy, he might be all out with McCarthy. It just depends. But I think he wants Dion. I think Dion might be the next person coming in.
Dion is not coming to Dallas.
Really?
No.
It could be.
And they were in position to pick his kid anyway. He's going to be drafted. Shador is going to be drafted way too high in the top 5 pick, which is too high for him.
Well, I seem to remember some people who have a certain Manning who got drafted by the San Diego Chargers and said he didn't want to play there and ended up going to New York.
It was like back-to-back picks. The Cowboys are going to be picking like 20 something or 15 or somewhere around there. And they're not going to be able to pull that stunt. They might be able to pull it if he doesn't want to go to the Giants and then he's going to the Jets or some PS like that, but that ain't happening. But back to the original point, you kind of heard it on the broadcast when it came to how the guys played, because they found out they're eliminated from the playoffs before that game started and they played their tails off. And that part was very impressive by the Cowboys. And ultimately, when you go out there and you do that and you have a lame duck coach, a lame duck defensive coordinator, I mean, the whole damn team's lame duck that doesn't have a contract, that says something. And I didn't think they were going to win the game. I picked the Buccaneers. Not only they screwed up that draft pick, I think McCarthy might be back. I hate to say it.
Zimmer might be back.
Well,
because the defense, since Micah Parsons has got back in the lineup, looks totally different. And even with
if McCarthy's back, Zimmer's back, I think 100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, the defense has played really well since, like I said, since Micah. It's a totally different team. But you look at the injuries that the defensive side of the ball has had, and the offensive side, and here's what JJ may say or may look at, and it's really more Steven than it is JJ, is saying that, we had a young offensive line. We've had a lot of injuries. Defense, we had a ton of injuries on. And when we started getting some of those players back, you started seeing that it wasn't necessarily all Dan Quinn. It was the fact that they had certain players out. And so we'll have to see. I'm hoping, my hope is that there's been enough noise and enough bad press that Dallas will actually try to make some moves as far as free agents. And the fact that Micah, and I get on the dude about talking a lot, but he did say something that I liked. He said that, he doesn't have to be the highest paid defensive player. He said he would rather have, he's, whatever is fine as long as they have money left over to put players around him to win championships. So I make, Mike is a young player, young man, but I think sometimes first off, you can't deny the guy backs up what he says when he plays because he brings it every game.
I'm going to interrupt you on Micah's thing. If you would have watched me last week, since you couldn't be on the show, I already talked about this, that it was impressive that he said he didn't have to be the most highest paid. The other side of it is he's fresher because he didn't play the whole season right now. And what's been the trend is he starts off weeks, 1 through 10 to 12, he's been amazing. And then he falls off during the end of the season in the playoffs. I think the way he's been used these last 5-6 weeks since he's been back has been very impressive by Mike Zimmer, and the willingness of Micah Parsons to move around. It's just one of those things. I got Damo on. Hey, Damien's watching us on TikTok Live right now. He said Micah's way too emotional, and I was like, well, sometimes you got to play with emotion, but he is a young guy, as you pointed out, and I do think it's impressive that he doesn't. He's already said he doesn't have to be highest paid, but who else has impressed me is CeeDee Lamb. And I know he is out now, as Damien pointed out over here as well. And you mentioned that before we started recording. I didn't realize they actually ruled him out. But what he's been fighting through these last 4, 5, 6 weeks, however long it's been, with his right shoulder. And I have both my shoulders. I've torn labrum in both my shoulders. Matter of fact, and my right shoulder is still torn. And, it's been really impressive. And he has won me over. I was pretty critical at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to take this opportunity CD, I apologize if I said anything negative about you at the beginning of the year. And you showed me you got a pair on you, and it's pretty impressive. So yeah.
And that's the thing. If it's when we say this every year, we say if they just get a few players, does it? But I really am thinking the pressure this year to actually do something.
Or start
We may
restructuring.
see it. Huh?
They're gonna have to restructure contract. If they restructure Dak, CD, and a couple other ones, they could have $100+ million in cap room and actually be able to do something. So
Yeah, I
we don't
don't know.
money and all this
Here's
other
my
bull crap
this
talking
could
about.
be a pet peeve with me with the Dallas Cowboys is whoever is running their cap program obviously is not as good as the rest of the sons of bitches in the league. Because you've got teams when you look at them like the Philadelphia Eagles, you look at teams like the Baltimore Ravens, who they're like, well, they don't have a lot of cap room, but yet they still manage to go out there and get players.
Well,
So
it's Gary Jones. He says no one knows the cap better than I do. We all know that's a
I think he's
fucking lie.
talking about the cap that's on his head. I don't think he's talking about money
I
because
don't think I've ever
he,
seen one word cap.
yeah.
Oh man.
But,
All right.
well, he
Yeah,
wears one
we got to do
that's got a
something.
big D on it. But, huh?
Oh, they got to do something in the off season. And as I love Damian just threw out there, how can they just restructure a person's deal without them willing to do it? I think you're talking the player. Most of the time, players are willing to do it because they're getting a lot more money up front. And they're going to get paid longer because you add years on into it. But you're right, D, that ultimately the player has to be willing to do it. And I hope they are, because if they want players in the offseason, CD, Micah, all these number one players, man, or grade A players, they're going to have to.
Well, and to me, the reason a lot of these players are okay and open to doing that is because they've just signed long-term deals to stay where they're at. And unless it just, ends up being like a situation in Cleveland, it's they know they're going to be there for the long haul. Now you've got your money. Now what can I do to help this team get better? And I think there's going to be a lot of pushback this year from the players, Micah, from Dak, from CD, all of these guys to say, look, last year you guys tried it your way. You didn't you didn't get jack bone this last off season. Now we need to do something because I'm tired of you wasting my career, wasting my time. We've talked about this before. How many players have they wasted their careers being there? And so, I think there's going to be some changes.
Hey, what's man? Damian was like, hey, can we talk Bengals for a second? You played the Browns last week, D. You played the Browns. There ain't nothing to talk about that game. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, but here's my thing.
Requesting the Bengals, Damian. Come on. All right. Go love your frosted tip quarterback over there.
Well,
who is not better
to his point, though, to his point, the Bengals are not entirely out of the playoff race yet. Because
I know. I just thought
they're
that's funny.
still in the hunt. So, but yeah, they did play the Browns. The Browns is, that's actually a good question on the Browns. How much longer do you think that I can't even think of his name right now? The defensive end from
talking about the Browns quarterback, Deshaun Watson?
No, the defensive end.
Oh, Myles Garrett.
Yeah. How much longer do you think Myles Garrett is going to stick around there?
Well, didn't he just sign a new deal this past offseason?
Yes, but I think
I don't think the Browns are willing to go into cap hell like the Broncos did with Russell Wilson.
They're already in cap hell. They gave their quarterback guaranteed money.
No, I got you.
But
It's one of those things where they got him locked up and they have no incentive to trade him other than him not showing up, which is going to cost him money. And I don't think Myles Garrett is that type of dude that would put his team in a situation of him not playing. Aggies don't do that. So,
Well, I understand that, but he's another one that his career is getting wasted all those years.
I agree. Every player that's gone to Cleveland's career has been wasted except Jim Brown. I mean, come on. Like Joe Thomas, one of the greatest tackles of all time's career was wasted there. Go down the list up there in Cleveland. So, I feel for those fans very much. All right. So last segment, we kind of skipped over this, or we jumped around a little bit. College football. All right. College football, the playoffs are happening. We got 4 games this week. We got Texas versus Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. In the Rose Bowl, you got the Ohio State Buckeyes versus Oregon. You got the Fiesta Bowl, Penn State versus Boise State. And then you got the Sugar Bowl, Notre Dame and Georgia. I did my picks last week. I'll reiterate them here. Who you got and why? I see you.
I'll take the Ohio-Oregon first. I just think Oregon has proven that they flame out when stakes are extremely high. Now, yeah, they played great in this last week, but I just think Oregon has too much for them. And I think Ohio State their coach is under all that pressure that basically if he doesn't win a national championship, he's going to be gone. So I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Oregon's going to pull this off. I just don't think Ohio is consistent enough in these type of games, whereas Oregon has showed nothing but consistency the whole year.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Ryan Day I don't know if he's coaching for his job. Maybe the Buckeyes in the live chat can tell me if they think he's coaching for his job. They're more in the know than I am. I know one random sportscaster or analyst, kind of said that, because he can't beat Michigan, but he's in the college football playoff, and they, as my Buckeye fan right there said, they only beat us by 1. But as I'm sticking with my pick last week on this one, and I'm sorry, Damien, you might not be my best man at my wedding after I say this by your choice. I'm picking the Ducks. I think they've been dominant all year. They're still, they're undefeated, and they come into the Big Ten and they ran the Big Ten. Like, that's a Pac-12 team that just went into Midwest football and took care of y'all. Like, y'all were not really a big time conference almost, See it going either way. I know they barely beat Penn State, but they still beat them. I got the Ducks. I'm sorry. Sorry, Ohio State. But he's typing in caps now, Pops.
Yeah.
He's mad. Sorry, dude.
Well,
I love you.
I hope we're wrong. I'd actually like to see Ohio State win. I just think Oregon right now is just too consistent. When it comes to Texas and Arizona,
you were picking Ohio State.
No, I was picking Oregon.
Oh, so we both picked Oregon. Oh, be mad at him too.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that I do think that Ohio needs to win a championship or the coach is going to be gone.
You're going to make them mad by calling them Ohio too.
Ohio State.
It's not Ohio or Ohio Bobcat.
Okay.
I mean,
so let me talk about the TU or UT. I think Texas right now just has the defense to handle just about any team. So I'm taking, as much as I hate to say it, as much as it comes out of my mouth like throw up, I think the Longhorns will take Arizona State.
I agree with Arizona State's been hot, but I think Texas wins that one decently, easily, honestly. All right, Penn State, Boise.
That one's a tough one.
I got Boise.
I think
I got Boise State.
you got Boise. Well, I'm taking
Yep.
Penn State.
I think NT is going to run on.
Yeah. Well, I think Penn State has, when we talked about it, and I didn't think Penn State was going to stay at the top for a long time. I really, you go back to the earlier podcasts or whatever, I thought Penn State was kind of a pretender in the top 5, but they proved me wrong. So I'm going to go with them since they're proving me wrong on that. And I think they finally knock out. I think Boise State has had a great run this year, but I think they're done. I think this is the end of the line.
Yeah, I mean, I've picked against Penn State almost every time we've talked about them, and I think I learned my lesson. Probably like, hey, you're hating on the Big Ten, you just trashed them talking about Oregon. I'm a huge fan of Boise State. I'm a huge fan of Genty because I think he's also going to be a Dallas Cowboy in next year's draft. But I don't know. There's got to be an upset somewhere, and I think this is the upset. I think Boise is the upset because the next one you can say it's upset. I don't think it is. I have Notre Dame beating Georgia.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Georgia is on a mission to get back at Texas, and I don't see Notre Dame. Once again, Notre Dame, they're, I wouldn't say inconsistent, but they had a tendency to make big mistakes when things are bad. And so,
hey, that Beck has been playing awful. Matter he got benched for their backup in their last game, and their backup didn't do well. So now I think he may have hurt his arm or something like that. I don't remember the exact specifics, but I just got my number one commenter right here saying, Georgia's quarterback is hurt bad. So yeah, I didn't think Beck was playing well in the first place. It's not the Georgia defense of the last few years. They're still really damn good, but they're not dominant like they have been. They still have a ton of talent. But I think ultimately Notre Dame, their defense is really good as well. And I think they got more players on the offensive side.
I think it's going to set up I think Georgia is just, they have already they beat Texas twice already this year. And they are, to me, they're saying the SEC is theirs. And I just think they're on a mission to prove that and to get to the national championship. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going with the Bulldogs.
All right. So ultimately, my national championship game is Oregon versus Notre Dame. So I don't know if you decided those next games. I have Oregon versus Notre Dame, and then I have Oregon winning the national championship. So
yeah, I think Oregon's going to win the national championship. I don't think there's no doubt in my mind that that's what's going to happen. Who it's going to be?
I just had a lady in the live chat comment that I was cute.
Well, glad you pointed that out.
Linda happens to be my fiance.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well,
love you, babe.
Yeah, I think it's mine. If I had to pick right now, I think it's going to be Oregon and Georgia. So I would love to see a rematch between Texas and Georgia again, because I would love for Georgia to beat them a third time, because I love anybody beating the Clawhorns. But, that's just me. All right. So we're going to move on to our NFL pick.
Yeah, we are running a little behind. Well, I'll get your opinion on transfer portal next week, because I'm sure it'll be up from 5,000 to like 10,000 people by then. Picks. You weren't here, so I had to do them by myself. I went 1-3, which is my worst week ever.
Wow.
So not a good week. So we got Cowboys at Philadelphia. Who you got?
I have to go with the Eagles. CeeDee Lamb's not playing. That totally changed the way I looked at this game. So I think it's going to be more like a preseason game for the Cowboys, even though I still have no clue why they're not playing Trey Lance. Just let the dude play. But now that CD's not playing, it's not. But I don't know what the latest update on Hurts is. But even without Hurts, I think Cowboys are probably still going to lose this game since it's on Philly.
Yeah, I got Philly as well. The CD thing is a huge factor, and that's a huge one. You still got Trayvon Diggs out. He's done for the year. Still got missing pieces on the defense, even though I really like the rookie linebacker from Notre Dame. And I think he's going to
I
be a
tell
good
you,
starter.
the linebackers when they get overshot back, these younger guys have been stepping up.
Yeah,
And I think we've got a linebacker core that I would agree that the linebacker core is really showing some promise for the Cowboys. But
all right, we got Falcons at Washington.
Falcons at the Commies. I tell you what, Daniels has been impressing me, and so I'm going with Commies. Washington Commies over the Falcons.
I think Washington wins that. I think, they're not. Falcons are kind of just seeing what they got in Penix. So, Colts at the New York Giants.
I think the Giants are going to get trampled by the Colts.
I see what you did there. I got the Colts as well. I think you would be an idiot to ever pick the Giants right now to win a game. They're trying to tank. By the way, Damien has agreed with all our NFL picks to this point, so I appreciate you chiming in there, D, on the TikTok live. All right, so now we got 2 wild cards. Here are my 2 wild cards. I got Jets at the Bills. You know who I'm picking. Buffalo is going to run all over the Jets. The Jets can't fly. They're grounded, and the Bills are going to tramp all over them as well. So give me your first game. Give me your first wild card game. I figured the Vikings were happening.
The Vikings are going to take down Green Bay, even though Green Bay's playing better. And we got to give them a little love. See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
I still think Darnold has got this team going the way it needs to go. And I think there's something about the Vikings, although I think they're going to end up meeting the Lions and the Lions will prevail in that. But right now I'm going with the Vikings.
All right. My last wild card, last game, Broncos at Cincinnati. Damien, you just decided to choose the episode I'm picking against all the ones. I got the Broncos beating the Bengals going to Cincinnati. Yeah. Sorry, D. Love you.
Well, no skyline chili for you.
Skyline chili for me.
So mine is the Lions versus the 49ers. I'm going with the Lions beating the 49ers at home because I love the fact there's 2 teams that I love watching them get beat, and that is Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers.
You took Philly?
49ers.
Oh, you took the 49ers. All right.
There you go.
Well, folks, we even had 2 segments we didn't even get to, but I got to edit this down to an hour. Be on the lookout for some big changes potentially for our podcast and who we're with.
We might go live.
We might be going live on multiple platforms, so not just my TikTok right here. Next week, we'll talk about our top sports moments of the year. We'll get the old man's opinion on transfer portal and NIL, since we were going to do that today. I did it last week, and you kind of got my opinions of when I had to run solo. So, yeah. So big things in the works. We're excited about potential changes. And, yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich with no crust.
You stuck on that. Jason Kidd loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with no crust. What can you say? We want to thank y'all on YouTube for watching. When you do watch this, thank you for everyone joining the TikTok live and all my people commenting and saying I'm cute and stuff. So love you, big bro. And, yeah. So might have Sir George on next week. J.Kidd, Now you just look like a retarded unicorn. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to say that. My bad. I apologize.
You don't
a
have
challenge.
to edit it out.
All right, for the folks on the live, he turned his Viking hat this way instead of this way, and it looked like he had a big white wiener on his head. All right, so
You know, why
it
you gotta
looks like
go
the
wing?
wreck.
No, it doesn't. It looks
Yes,
like a
it does.
horn.
It's a
It
erect,
looks like a
white,
horn.
penis
You
looking
see
thing.
what I have to put up with, people? This
Tag
is
2024
no,
calendar.
no, yeah, no.
Oh man, for the folks who don't get that, we had a Christmas party on Saturday, and one of the people in the white elephant walked away with a penis in nature calendar, but it was for 2024. It wasn't even for this year. And it was the
From
dude's
the-
first time coming to our holiday party. That crap
Yep.
was hilarious.
And that's
All
what
right,
you
we got to
know.
go. Peace. We're out. We love y'all.
Y'all take care. Thanks for listening. Bye.